At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Happy Monday morning to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger with Weather NorCal. So thank you so much for joining us here on Coffee with Krueger every weekday morning at 7 a.m. And we're starting off with a shot of the radar. And last night, most of the rain was confined off to the north coast. And of course, even parts of Siskiyou and Modoc counties got to see some early morning showers here, which have since then moved off to the north and east and have dissipated. Now, notice some energy off to the west. That is going to bring more rain to the north coast. Yes, one more day of some rain. Now, I think that's where most of the rain is going to be today. Anything we see in the valley is going to be few and far between. And I think many of us in the valley today are going to make it through the day without even seeing a drop of rain. All right, good morning to you all. Hope you're having a good start to your Monday. Kids are back to school. President's Week is done with. For those of you that are teachers, welcome back to the work week. Another back to reality, back to work. And it looks like we've got kind of a starting it off with, we'll call it unsettled, because you are going to see some clouds and some sun throughout the day in the valley. Of course, as I mentioned, most of that rain is going to be on the coast. Checking in with some of you this morning. Jenny was the first to check in this morning and saying, happy Monday, all have a great week. Smiley face, and of course, that cup of coffee. We've also got James and Mandy Chappell saying good morning. Have a great day to you all. And of course, want to say have a great day to you all as well. Now, remember last week on Friday, I had to do Coffee with Krueger about a half an hour early. Now that's because I had to get my son to his race. Of course, he's got one more race today, but I had to get him to his race on Friday. And that was a race that pretty much just clinched him into the state finals. So I'm very excited about that. It has been announced that he is going to be going to states for snowboarding, slalom. So I'm very excited about that. And of course, the cool thing about that is that starts this upcoming weekend, really next week. So starting next week, I'm going to be doing Coffee with Krueger from my Airbnb in South Lake Tahoe. So that's going to be a lot of fun too. So I can be there to watch his races. This is the first time he's ever made it. Of course, last year he didn't, but he was a freshman. And this year he's a sophomore and he made it to states. So that's a very exciting time. So we've got junior and senior year. Who knows how much he's going to be kind of working his way up the ranks there. But his cousin, he's got a cousin who is one of the top contenders. He's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So it's good to kind of have him by his side and giving him some tips and getting his skills out there a little bit better as well. Stephen is also, he's of course checking in this morning and saying, good morning, bravo for your son. Well, thank you very much. And we've also got congratulations coming in from James and Mandy Chappell. So thank you for your kind words and your congratulatory words as well. Well, what do you say we get to Krueger's Quickcast this morning? For those of you just checking in and want to check out the latest forecast here for today, your Monday, February 24th. President's Day was last week, not this week. President's Week was last week, not this week. Back to reality. There's a look at some of the rainfall totals we've seen since Friday, and this was expected. You see the bullseye, north and west. Western Siskiyou, northern Humboldt, and Del Norte County seeing the bulk of the rain. Look at Crescent City for 3.12. Now, I don't know how accurate that rain gauge is in Klamath until I have someone else to tell me otherwise. That's what it looks like in Klamath. Now, that is down the river of Klamath River where that rain gauge is. There's one not too far from it that's, reporting, a few hundredths of an inch of rainfall. So one extreme to the other, I don't know. So it's kind of crazy, but that's the number I've got. If you live in Klamath and you have a rain gauge, let me know. See what your numbers are compared to that one. Trinidad, 1.7. So look, you head to the south, not as much. You head to the east, not as much. You head to the south and east, again, not as much. This is a true classic setup that we have with, I know you hate the word, I know a lot of you hate it, but it's a real term and it's used to help communicate the weather, but atmospheric river. In the atmospheric river, you see the heaviest amount of rainfall, and sometimes you get a sharp cutoff line where you see much drier conditions. And this really clearly illustrates that, where we saw the bullseye of heavy rainfall and then that cutoff line of much less rainfall. Right now, we're looking at fairly mild temperatures out there, upper 40s to low 50s for many of us in the valley. We've got 30s and 40s for the higher elevations and 50s. Look at that, mid to upper 50s along the coast. Out the door this morning, most of the showers that we will see at about 8, 9 o'clock this morning will be on the coast. Otherwise, everyone else is going to be dry. We're starting off dry for everyone right now, but in the next hour or so, the coast will eventually start to see some of those showers. So there you can see that approaching cold front that's going to be moving in. Look at that big swirling, just that comet shape, that swirling area of low pressure. That is going to be responsible for some gusty winds. We're already seeing that. We've seen gusts over 40, even 50 miles per hour seen for some of those ridge tops along the coast here. 30 miles per hour here in the last hour at Crescent City, not as bad in Eureka. And look at some of those higher elevations in Siskiyou County as well. Some gusty winds there. In fact, there is a high wind warning for central Siskiyou County, the coast of Delnor County, and most of Modoc County, and a wind advisory for the darker shades of blue. This is where we could see gusts upwards of 50 to 60 miles per hour. Now notice the valley is not part of this. I think, we're worthy of maybe an advisory, and I'll tell you why. Let's take a look at the forecast winds. Not that bad this morning, but later today, around midday, some of the stronger winds even in the valley. We're talking 25, even possibly 35 mile an hour gusts. Now look at central Siskiyou County between Wairika and Mount Shasta. See that big blob of red? That's 50, 60 miles per hour easily. And this is why we have the high wind warning there. But the coast, even midday, you're still looking at some gusty winds. And Modoc County, part of the high wind warning, right? And there you can see some of the eastern mountains in Lassen County seeing some gusty winds. Although Lassen County is not part of the wind advisory or even the high wind warning. Now the winds are showing signs of getting weaker this afternoon, but really it's not until tomorrow that we'll be looking at much calmer winds. Now with these stronger winds, we also have a high surf advisory along the coast from 4 p.m. today until 10 a.m. tomorrow with large breaking waves of 20 to 24 feet. There's a look at Futurecast, and you can see through the morning, the showers, that line of showers hits the coast. Now look what happens. It breaks apart pretty quickly here through the morning hours. By midday, you're seeing light scattered showers north and west of the valley. Look at the valley. Not much going on, is there? We're seeing some development between Redding and Boerne. That is going to be a typical convergence line possibly developing here. We're going to get into that and kind of do a little education on what that convergence line means and what it is and how that helps to generate some of the heavier rainfall that you're seeing on the map there. Okay, but that will be the case here through this afternoon and evening. So between Redding and Boerne, there's a potential for some very heavy rainfall. So places like Montgomery Creek, Boerne, Fall River Mills, Ayden, even Altura is getting caught up in some of that rainfall and parts of Lassen County as well. And then by tonight, we're pretty much done. We're pretty much done with the rain for now. All right, there's a look at Mount Shasta Ski Park. No new snow in the last 24 hours, but we did see, look at that, 100 inches out at the summit depth, so looking pretty good there. Road conditions are all clear on I-5 and Highway 89 if you're heading out to the ski park. So looking at the chain requirements, well, of course, there's no chain requirements to show you because there aren't any out there right now. And just kind of show you what it looks like on the roads there. There's Dunsmuir, I-5 near Mount Shasta, and of course, that's at the Highway 89 intersection. Speaking of Highway 89, there's Snowman's Hill at 4,500 feet. Looks pretty good there as well. Some of the trouble spots you typically see is Cedar Pass. Doesn't look like we're seeing any snow there. In fact, a lot of the snow, even on the side of the road, looks like it has melted as well. So certainly a warmer system that's moved on through here. So for today, we got those mid to upper 60s in the valley. 40s, 50s for the higher elevations, upper 50s for the coast. And for later on tonight, we're dropping down mainly around 40, give or take, for the valley. Looks like 20s and 30s for the higher elevations, and it looks like in the low 40s along the coast here for tonight. Still some clouds, but those will be clearing out here pretty quickly by tomorrow morning. Windy for pretty much everyone, really. I've got showers in there for the valley. Honestly, I think you'll be lucky if you even see a drop of rain. And then it's dry through Friday, and then maybe some showers by the weekend. Windy for the coast, inland, and for Trinity County, we'll call it breezy. Probably not as windy there, but you've got showers. Not very heavy. And then it's dry for Tuesday through Friday. Beautiful weather this week. But around the weekend, still working on and ironing out the details as far as the timing and the intensity of the rain that's approaching, but that's what it's looking like for now. Siskiyou County, Modoc, and the Eastern Mountains. Also, just a light shower here and there. Susanville, I got PM in there because it's not until late this afternoon, evening that you might get caught up in some of those showers. And then there it is, Saturday, Sunday. And I do expect some much colder air to move in by Sunday. That could lower those snow levels down a bit. So something we'll be watching here. Take a look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Looking at Lake Oroville, we got a beautiful sunrise picture there. This is looking out at, it looks like some people out on the dock getting off their boat there. But, oof. I mean, that's one of those, what was that guy's name? He was on PBS, Happy Clouds. I mean, that just looks like one of those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, there they are. Yeah, getting on, looks like a paddleboard or something. Fun, fun, fun. Gotta love those outdoor recreationists. Main Street, Chico, Highway 32. Looks like traffic is flowing smoothly there. Take a look at Highway 99 at Neal Road. Pretty typical. You're going to be looking at more traffic this week because, yeah, a lot more. Well, I mean, it was mainly just the teachers that were out of school, right? Everyone else still had to work throughout the week last week. Sundial Bridge Drive on Highway 44. Looks like we're looking at some pretty good traffic there. Take a look at what it looks like on the coast right now. This is actually in just north of Trinidad, where you can see a puddle. Isn't that exciting? What's more exciting is when we can, of course, see the elk hanging out there. In fact, last week we were able to see that. Take a look now. This is looking at Harbor District Cam in Crescent City. Just some clouds, no rain. That will change probably in the next couple of hours. But the winds, yeah, the winds are still pretty gusty there. And that's why you're seeing that camera kind of whipping around a bit. Let's take you back to Elk Country Cam. Oh, looks like a bird had just flown by. I'm going to see if, it's been kind of up and down a bit here, but I'm going to see if the Sundial Bridge camera is up. Come on, where is that? Isn't it weird? Like, you know it's there, but you're just going to see what's going on here. Let's see if it's up. And it doesn't look like it's up. But while we're here, while I'm checking it, let's take a look at what it looks like up at Mount Shasta this morning. And we'll kind of get past this right here. And there you go. They got the ski lift going, just kind of making sure it's going, but they don't let people on that ski lift until 9 o'clock in the morning. But I mean, look at all the snow up there. Isn't it gorgeous? It's going to be semi-bluebird day. There's going to be some clouds out there. There may be a sprinkle or a light shower out there. My son's going to be out there today. I won't be able to be there. His mom's taking him up. But he's got a race today out at Mount Shasta Ski Park. So it looks like things are looking pretty good. Happy clouds. Yes, David Hossman saying. Oh, Bob Ross. It was Bob Ross who did that. Yes, thank you for that reminder, David. Fun, fun, fun. All right. Well, let's kind of get out of there and take you to, well, let's check in with some of you. Well, yeah, let's do this here. So many things going on. I got to make sure that I know what's going on here. Let's just take it back to me while I'm trying to figure out what to do here. But we got a couple people checking in this morning. We have got we've got Sandra checking in. She is saying good morning, Mike. We've also got Steve Cook. He's saying we got 0.05 in Durham, so that fits with what you have listed here for the southern area. Yeah, I mean, really all in all, for most of the valley, I was predicting really since early on, most likely less than 1/10 of an inch of rainfall. Now, Some of the north and west parts of Redding did see upwards of around 1,500 of an inch of rain. Some of you may have seen a little bit more than that, but for the most part, it was less than 1/10 of an inch of rainfall for most of us. And that was anticipated, as most of that rain, most of the moisture was up to our north and west. Of course, there's David Hoffman reminding me about the Bob Ross painting scene. I was looking at a beautiful shot of Lake Oroville with the clouds and the lake, and it seemed like a scene that Bob Ross would have painted. Happy clouds. Yes, always the happy clouds. Good times. Well, what do you say we go to a happy forecast? It is 7:15 this morning, and of course, as you know, Coffee with Krueger would not be possible without our sponsor of Wind River Resort and Casino, where you can enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. So head on out to Wind River Resort and Casino if you're looking for a good time. All right, let's take a look at the radar right now. And yeah, we're dry right now, aren't we? But we are going to be looking at this batch of rain hitting the coast in the next hour or so, and you're going to be looking at more rain. Now, how much rain have we seen so far? You know, I think the forecast models did a pretty good job in projecting how much rain we would see. Of course, the bullseye, that was pretty much expected, where we saw the bulk of the rain. It was projecting, close to 4 inches of rain for Crescent City, okay, so maybe not that much, but we'll see a little bit more today. 3.12 in Crescent City. Klamath, I don't know how accurate that number is, but that's what I've got for now. You head south, numbers get slimmer. You head to the south and east, numbers get a lot slimmer. I mean, as I mentioned, less than 1/10 of an inch of rainfall for pretty much everyone in the valley. And of course, even less than that up to the east. Right now, we're sitting at 49 degrees for Redding, 47 degrees in Corning, 28 in Chester, and we've got Oroville at about 49 degrees. So we got one more day of these scattered showers, and I think the valley will make it through the day without even, many of us in the valley will make it through the day without seeing a drop of rain. We're going to watch what we've got around the Redding area between Redding and Bernie. We'll get into that a little bit later. Gusty south winds, I think that's really the main headline for today. You're going to notice that even in the valley. Not bad now, but the wind's going to be ramping up here through the morning and into the afternoon. Spring-like temperatures this week, we've been talking about that since last week. Still on par for that, but I do expect another wet weather pattern to move in as early as this weekend and most likely through a good portion of next week as well. Big area of low pressure swirling right here. This is going to be the reason why we're going to see those gusty winds out there for today. Now, we take a look at the wind gusts right now, and they're strongest along the coast. They're strongest in parts of Siskiyou County, but look at the valley. I mean, they're mainly below 10 and even 5 miles per hour. And even off to the east, the winds aren't all that strong right now. But when we take a look at the wind advisories, yeah, we've got a high wind warning for the coast of Del Norte, for central Siskiyou County, basically Shasta Valley, and for Modoc County, you've got that high wind warning. Wind advisory for these areas in blue right here, and this is basically for today. Now, some areas we've already seen gusts, especially along the coast, over 50 miles per hour, especially over a lot of those exposed mountain ridge tops. But I do expect as we go through the afternoon, those winds will still be very strong. And there you can see around 5 p.m., we're still seeing the very gusty winds. The valley's still seeing some gusty winds as well. And then off to the east here, we've got some pretty strong winds. Taking you to Tuesday morning, those winds are going to be calmer. Taking you to Tuesday afternoon, a little bit of a north breeze for the valley, but overall the winds are going to be fairly calm. There's Wednesday morning, a little breezy out towards the foothills, and then by Wednesday afternoon, once again, calmer winds. Let's take a look at Futurecast and kind of walk you through the timing of today's rain, and then, of course, as we go in the next couple of days, of course, no rain after today. There's that batch of rain heading closer to us this morning. By 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, it's hitting the coast. Everyone else is still dry. 10 o'clock this morning, we're still kind of confined off to the north and west, maybe a few scattered sprinkles or light showers for southern Humboldt and into Trinity County, but elsewhere, it is still dry. Let's take you into the midday hours and really just breaking up. There's not a lot going on, is there? We're just looking at a few scattered sprinkles, some light showers, mainly north and west of the valley. Nothing here to write home about, that's for sure. But what I've got my eyes on, you see that popping up right there? What is that? Well, let's take a closer look. This is what is known as a convergence line. Now, this is a classic setup here in Northern California. In fact, several years ago, a study was done on this exact particular situation here. Essentially what happens is this. So you got the valley, right? It's flat, right? Then you kind of go around the valley. Where is this? We're looking at the foothills and the mountains. So what happens is then you've got mountains. So what happens is the winds do this. They go do this, and then they ride up the mountain. When you force that air up, that creates instability. That's known as instability. You need rising air in order for clouds to develop and rain. So what happens is the winds go up the mountains, it forces that air up, you see clouds and rain develop. Now, there are several different scenarios that we can get out of these convergence lines. Sometimes you can see it set up for several hours in just one particular location for 2, 3, 4 hours on end, and it's heavy rainfall that can come out of these. And you can see some flash flooding, okay? But you see these winds here? What that does is, so this is what creates the rain. This is what kind of starts to push the rain a little bit to the north and east sometimes. All right, so I don't anticipate this to stick around in one location. A lot of times it kind of shifts south and north, a little bit to the south and west, a little bit to the north and east. So it can sometimes throughout the day kind of transition and move to different locations. But so here's what it looks like. Redding, for the most part, as you can see, looks fairly dry. City of Shasta Lake may be getting caught up in some of this, but it does kind of make its way near Highway 299, somewhere between Redding and Boerne. So Montgomery Creek, you could get caught up in this, right? But you see how it does kind of work its way to the north and east as we go through the afternoon. We still got those strong south winds this afternoon. We take you into about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. There you can see around Boerne, Fall River Mills now getting caught up in that, but dry pretty much anywhere else, right? And then we go into about 5, 6 o'clock, it's starting to kind of wrap itself up. All right, so here's what we have for the rest of the evening. There's the rain off out towards parts of Siskiyou County, off to the north and east, kind of the leftover remnants of that convergence line I was telling you about. And then by 10 o'clock tonight, mostly gone. Maybe a sprinkle here and there for some of you in the higher elevations. Tomorrow morning, all right, maybe a sprinkle for parts of you along the coast, a drizzle, but it's going to be a much drier day on Tuesday. And of course, that's going to be the case here for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, when we do expect a big increase in our temperatures, getting more of a false spring as we go through the week. Longer range, again, there's that ridge of high pressure keeping us fairly dry and warm. This low pressure here is going to be moving over Southern California. The main impact for us will be added cloud cover. That's it. Now, we do have this system that comes in sometime around Saturday, Sunday. The timing's still a little iffy at this point, depends on which forecast model you look at. So sometime around Saturday, Sunday, we may be looking at the potential for some more wet weather that will probably linger on into Monday. Looks like maybe a bit of a break for Tuesday of next week, but we've got more activity coming in behind that that could impact us by the middle and latter part of next week. So again, there's that break I was talking about for Tuesday, but more activity off to the west impacting us for the middle and latter part of next week. Long range, lots going to happen between now and then, but it's looking pretty promising for a fairly wet weather pattern moving in, especially for the middle and latter part of next week. How much rain can we expect on top of what we've already seen? Not much. I think it's overdoing it. Honestly, for Redding and Chico, there's a chance you could be looking at all zeros there. Now, again, maybe a sprinkle, a light shower in Redding. And again, if that convergence line shifts a little bit more to the south and west, then at least northeast parts of Redding could possibly see some of that. And then, of course, you got more rain. So you're kind of seeing that bullseye of where we're looking at some of the heavier rainfall. That's just basically what the forecast models is picking up on, but it could be a little bit different. Maybe a little bit more to the north, maybe a little bit more to the south. It just depends on how that convergence line sets up. And then, of course, you can see not much to the southeast, but even out towards Crescent City, you're not going to get much rain out of what's going to move through this morning. Now, we're drying things out for the rest of the week, but remember I was mentioning that potential for some more wet weather for the middle and latter part of next week. All right, Climate Prediction Center is picking up on that. Lighter shades of green indicating very slim chance of seeing above normal rainfall, but at least potential for seeing that rainfall nonetheless. How the lake's doing? Well, actually seeing an increase. Yeah, finally starting to see an increase for Shasta Lake. That's also the case for Trinity Lake. However, a slight decrease out at Lake Oroville, but still over 100% of our historical average for all of the lakes. Now, we've also been talking about warmer than normal temperatures. Now we're going to get back to closer to near normal, because once we get some of this rain to move on in, we're going to see our temperatures begin to plummet as well as we go into the first week of March. So that's something we'll be watching here, but it's not going to be a massive cool down as far as, dropping below freezing or anything like that. But there's that false spring with temperatures mid to upper 70s for the middle and latter part of the week. There's that big drop in the temperatures, but still pretty close to normal. I mean, the normal high for this time of the year in the valley is 62 degrees. So when we drop down to 60, 63, that's pretty normal. Nothing unusual going on there. But that's not normal. It's when we start to drop it below that. All right, so that's the warmer weather we have in store for us later this week. You see the heights, the wave heights? They're going to be pretty high out there today. Not a good idea to be on a small fishing boat today or tomorrow for that matter. We actually have a high surf advisory along the coast, so not a good idea to be rock hopping or hanging out on the beach because we're going to be looking at large breaking waves of 20 to 24 feet later this evening and into tonight. Here's your marine forecast. You can see south winds at 25 to 30 knots, your waves from the south at 9 feet at 8 seconds, and from the west at 8 feet at 13 seconds. There's a gale warning for today. All right, so just be aware of that. If you do need to be on that small boat, not a good idea to be out there. Of course, you know your capabilities. You know what you're capable of. So I'm not going to tell you what you need to be doing, right? You're the expert. If you're a fisherman or a fisherwoman or a fisher person, what's the PC thing to say? I don't know. Here you can see. Trinity County neighborhood forecast. You got temperatures mid to upper 50s, 48 degrees for Trinity Center, 53 degrees for Coffee Creek. So breezy today in Trinity County. Light showers, nothing heavy. Dry through Friday. Showers possibly over the weekend. Taking to the south, you can see Wildwood about 51, 52 degrees for Ruth, and Mad River about 49 degrees. Now, of course, we got those light showers for today for Redway. Dry through the rest of the week. By the weekend, you got those showers. A high of 59 degrees for Ferndale, 58 degrees for Hydesville, Rio Dell about 56, and Fortuna about 59 degrees. Let's take you up to the north. Trinidad about 59, as well as McKinleyville, Arcata, Blue Lake, Eureka. 59 seems to be the magic number here, even for Willow Creek. Hoopa, 1 degree cooler at about 58 degrees. 59 for Smith River, 52 for Gas Key, and there's 57 for Orleans and 57 degrees for Oric. Winds will be strongest through the first half of the day. They will start to subside later this afternoon. There you can see, of course, those temperatures mid to upper 50s for Highway 96, mid 50s along the I-5 corridor, and for Scott Valley, looking at 54 degrees in Fort Jones, 51 for Callahan, all the way up to Greenview. Windy conditions today. We do expect dry and warm conditions through Friday, and then more showers possibly by the weekend, sometime around Saturday, Sunday. There's your central eastern Siskiyou County forecast. Windy today, winds dying down by tomorrow, and dry through at least Friday of this week. 49 degrees out towards Newell today with your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. Of course, you got the showers later this afternoon. Windy today, too. 53 degrees for Canby, 54 degrees in California Pines. And your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, 40s and 50s there. 59 degrees for Paynes Creek, 47 Old Station, and Fall River Mills, about 54 degrees. Lake Almanor, Lassen Park. You got those temperatures upper 40s to around 50, give or take, really, around the lake there. 50 for Westwood, and looks like in the 30s and 40s out towards Lassen Park. There you can see to the south, you can see Paradise will have about 62 degrees today, 50 in Mineral. I tell you what, Paradise, you'll probably be dry today. If you see a sprinkle, don't be surprised, but overall, you're going to be looking at fairly dry conditions. Here's your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south, brought to you by Walgamith Painting. Also, probably getting through the day without even seeing a drop of rain for most of you right here. If you see a passing sprinkle, okay, sure, maybe. But overall, going to be fairly dry. Windy, too. Winds coming in from the south-southwest. Dry through Friday, low 70s for Oroville for Thursday and Friday. For Chico, you got temperatures in the low to mid-70s here for Thursday, Friday. And then there's that drop in the temperatures, getting closer to normal by Saturday and Sunday. Let's take you up to the north. Cottonwood, you'll see a high of about 66. Much cooler, though, in Lakehead at the high of about 57. 59 for Whiskeytown, 61 for the city of Shasta Lake and Redding, about 65 degrees. There's your 7-day forecast for Redding. Temperatures are warming up. You're talking about temperatures mid to even upper 70s by Thursday, Friday. Could we be flirting with that 80-degree mark? We'll see. Then, of course, we got the showers here for the weekend, possibly. Again, as I mentioned, sometime around Saturday, Sunday. And really, honestly, I'm leaning more towards Sunday before we start to see some of that rain. But, something I'll be watching here very closely. It's one of those stay tuned type of forecasts if you've got plans over the weekend. Temperatures mid-60s on Saturday, and then by Sunday, we're looking at those temperatures in the low 60s for those daytime highs. So there you have it. That's a look at your forecast here for today. Hope you all got what you needed out of the forecast here. We're going to see if some other people have been checking in, and we have got Tracy Sackett saying, how exciting for your son. Yes, it is very exciting. I'm very excited about that, and I'm so proud of him. Of course, I'm always proud of him, even if he didn't make it. I'm very proud of him. We've got Chrissy Bentley saying, good morning, everyone. I'm enjoying no slick roads in the mornings, down 44, so no snow. Yeah, it's nice. That might be changing here in the long range. Maybe some more snow making their way back to the roads. It looks like by the second half of this weekend and into parts of next week. But that's obviously something worth thinking about and just kind of looking into, and something I'll be monitoring and tracking here throughout the week and keeping you updated on what you can expect here as we get closer to the weekend and early next week. Well, that's going to do it for us this morning as we are wrapping up the show, and we are going to be leaving you with some cameras here. It always seems like it's kind of the worst timing as I'm kind of looking up at the camera. I'm going to take you over to Lake Oroville, the live stream there. And, you know, they obviously have it for their purposes, but they make it available to the public. So I get it. There we go. That's better. We're going to leave you with that camera and some other cameras around the region. And we will see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Until then, have a great Monday and an even better Monday night. I don't know. I was just trying to wrap that up with that. Have yourselves a great day, and we'll see you later.